John, if you would be so kind. Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Wednesday, the 10th day of February 2021. This is a regular meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. In an effort to adhere to social distancing protocols and best practices imposed by the city and state authorities, the city of Jersey City has canceled all public meetings and closed non-essential services as of March 16, 2020 until further notice. As a result, this council meeting will be held virtually as a video conference with public access. We had a scheduled 6 p.m. start. The clock on my computer is showing 6:03 p.m. May we have a roll call for the commencement of this meeting? Councilperson Ridley.
Here.
Councilperson Prinzeri.
Here.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Here.
Councilperson Saleh.
Here.
Oh, you made it.
Councilperson Solomon.
Here.
Councilperson Robinson.
Here.
Councilperson Lavarro.
Here.
Councilperson Rivera will not be attending tonight, and Council President Waterman.
Here.
Okay. We have 8 council members in attendance at 6:03 p.m. Can we kindly rise for a moment of silence, please?
Jersey City resident Rosa Kino, who lost her battle with COVID.
Former councilperson Ep Betts.
Hamilton Park resident and JCU librarian Sheila Curvin.
Thank you very much. Kindly remain standing as we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. On behalf of Council President Waterman, in accordance with New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231 of the Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2021, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Wednesday, November 12th, 2020. In addition, at its time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Thursday, February 4th, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. to the Municipal Council, Mayor, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, and posted on the city's website, so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Members of the public and council members, during the caucus, we did have an extensive discussion about the city's website. We did have a little bit of a downage on the city's website, but we were able to put something up temporarily. I believe now the city website is working properly, so we are good to go. I just wanted to explain to the members of the public who are watching, the link of the caucus was there, and the link of the council meeting is on the website now, which is fully functional according to our IT and communications department. So with that being said, I need a motion to add items 3.5, City Ordinance 21-012, and item 10.48, Resolution 21-143. If you would allow me to read them into the record before I take the motion, I'd greatly appreciate it. So the first is item 3.5, City Ordinance 21-012. It's an ordinance of the City of Jersey City in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, appropriating and reappropriating a total of $5 million from various sources in order to provide funds to the Jersey City Free Public Library for renovation and furnishing of the main library building.
Motion.
Hold on, I'm sorry. And The item 10.48, Resolution 21-143, resolution authorizing a closed session of the Municipal Council on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, at 12 p.m. to discuss issues related to ongoing litigation. So I have a motion. May I have a motion to add items 3.5, City Ordinance 21-012, and item 10.48, Resolution 21-143. I believe the motion was made by Councilperson Saleh, and I give the second to Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to add items 3.5 and 10.48, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson Lavarro.
Sorry. Aye.
Thank you. And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 to add items 3.5 and 10.48 with Councilmember Rivera absent. Okay. On to our first reading ordinances. I'm going to read them into the record. Item 3.1, City Ordinance 21-008, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, Section 332-31, Parking Restrictions for Street Cleaning Purposes of the Jersey City Code to add Central Avenue between Hoboken Avenue and Newark Avenue. Item 3.2, City Ordinance 21-009, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Bayfront 1 redevelopment plan and the Droyers Point redevelopment plan. Item 3.3, City Ordinance 21-010, an ordinance repealing Ordinance 20-095 and amending Chapter 296, Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Rights of Way, and Chapter 160, Fees and Charges, Section JJ, Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Rights of Way of the Jersey City Municipal Code. Item 3.4, City Ordinance 21-011, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, amending Section 332-22, No Parking at Any Time on Warren Street, and Section 332-24, No Parking Certain Hours on Washington Street in the vicinity of 25 Christopher Columbus Drive. And item 3.5, City Ordinance 21-012, an ordinance of the City of Jersey City in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, appropriating and reappropriating a total of $5 million from various sources in order to provide funds to the Jersey City Free Public Library for the renovation and furnishing of the main library building. Council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 3.1 through 3.5. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye for introduction.
Thank you. Councilperson Lavarro.
Aye for introduction.
Thank you. And Council President Waterman.
Aye for introduction.
Items 3.1 through 3.5 are introduced 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, members of the public, just to make a quick announcement, we are now approaching our public hearing for second reading ordinances. I'm just being told that my sound is low. Just bear with me a second. I'll try to adjust that. Okay, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yep.
Now, is that a little better?
No, it's fine. I can hear you.
Okay, very good. All right, so members of the public, we're approaching our second reading ordinances. So in order for you to be heard on these second reading ordinances, we would like you to use the live event Q&A, and the way to do that is to provide your full name and telephone number and we'll patch you through the meeting once we receive the information if you wish to speak on any of the second reading ordinances. So with that being said, I am going to now read the first second reading ordinance, item 4.1, City Ordinance 21-005, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting an amendment to Chapter 345 regarding stormwater control. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay, this is the last call for the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-005. This is a public hearing on the ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay. No one has contacted me through the live event Q&A. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-005?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Prinzary. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilperson Bajano. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-005, Councilperson Ridley. Councilperson Ridley? Okay, we'll come back to her. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson LeBarro.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Councilperson Ridley, are you with us? Okay, we'll just mark our absent for that. Motion carries 7-0 with council members Ridley and Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-005. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 21-005, Councilperson Ridley. Still absent. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson LeBarro.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 21-005 is adopted 7-0 with council members Ridley and Rivera absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.2, City Ordinance 21-006, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, amending Section 332-22, no parking at any time, at 65 Bay Street and 88 Morgan Street. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay, this is the last call for the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-006, excuse me, 006. Any member of the public still wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay, we have a speaker to be called. Just bear with us 1 second, and we will patch the speaker through the meeting. Okay, just bear with us 1 moment. We're trying to get our first speaker on this ordinance patched through the meeting. Okay, I believe we have our speaker on the line. If you can identify yourself for the record, please.
Yvonne Bolser.
Okay, Yvonne, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Hi, Council. I tried to read this last week when the website was down. The question I really want to know is whether or not this ordinance separate rainwater from the sewer line. I wish I had the time to read it, but unfortunately, you guys were not up. Because someone asked to explain that, because we do have a problem with the city with the rainwater being tied to the sewer lines. Could that be explained?
Yvonne, are you referring to the stormwater control ordinance?
Well, the one that was here, I wasn't able to read it because it was down, and I really wanted to read it right away. You know, I try to get on there to read it thoroughly. So whenever I call, I always read the ordinance. I always do. This
Right.
time I didn't because you were down. So my question was, are these tied together?
I understand that, Yvonne, but we're actually on the second reading ordinance, which is the chapter 332, the 65 Bay and Morgan Street, no parking at any time. But if you don't mind,
My
Yvonne,
mistake. I'm talking about the water quality table. Maybe that is my mistake.
that's okay. But if you can email us your question, and we'll get you an answer for that.
Okay, 'cause I thought that was 4.1.
We're on 4.2 at this point.
Well, that's a problem. It's very low. I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Okay, I had to email you a question in. I would have read it if you guys was up. I would have been on time.
Well, I understand that. We actually put a temporary page up to give you access to the agenda, and I don't know if you were able to do that, but that's fine.
No, I tried often to get on the line. I didn't see it.
No, not a problem. I just wish you would have contacted me directly, and I would have guided you and gave you a link to actually go right onto the agenda. I would have been able to provide that to you. But in any event, if you wouldn't mind emailing us the question, we'll be able to answer that for you.
Okay, I will. So you're in 4.2 now. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, this is still a public hearing on City Ordinance 21-006. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay, this is the last call on ordinance 21-006 on the public hearing. If any member of the public is wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we'll patch you through the meeting. Okay, council members, no one has contacted me through the live event Q&A. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-006?
Motion.
Ooh. I'm going to give that motion to Councilperson Ridley.
That
Did I
was
not
Waterman
get
and
the right
Soleil,
count
but I'll
number?
take
I
it.
was like, I thought that was
Take it, take it, take it.
All right, take it. I apologize.
Take it.
And you know what I'll do? I'll give the second to Councilperson Soleil. How's that?
I appreciate that.
It's a
Thank you.
close second. All right.
Sean,
On
that was actually Rich for the second.
Uh-oh. Now, am I still giving the second to Soleil or what am I doing?
Delay.
I'm kidding. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so on the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-006, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prince Airy,
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano,
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson,
Aye.
Councilperson Lavaro,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-006. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 21-006, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prince Airy,
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano,
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson,
Aye.
Councilperson Lavaro,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 21-006 is adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our final second reading ordinance, item 4.3, City Ordinance 21-007, an ordinance amending Ordinance 20-113, supplementing Chapter 175, Food Handling Establishments, regulating the fees charged to restaurants by third-party takeout and delivery service applications and internet websites during such times when the restrictions upon such fees imposed by the state law are suspended. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. While we're waiting, council members, I'm gonna get like little hands for you guys, so then I know who's making the motion and who's seconding it.
Oh my God, now I'm behind.
I don't want the ratings for our show to drop in any way. Okay, this is the last call on City Ordinance 21-007 for the public hearing. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please provide me with your full name and telephone number through the live event Q&A, and we will patch you through the meeting. Okay, no one has contacted me through the live event Q&A, council members, so may I have a motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-007?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Baggiano, because he was the loudest. May I have a second?
Second, and that's not fair, Sean. Come on. Never gonna be as loud as Rich.
The motion seconded by Councilperson Prince Airy, clear as day. On the motion to close the public hearing on Ordinance 21-007, Councilperson Ridley.
She stepped away for a minute.
Oh, okay, thank
Step
you.
away.
Thank you. Councilperson Prince Airy.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Okay, sorry. Councilperson LeVaro
Aye.
and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
I apologize about that. I was just reading the comments. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 21-007 is approved 7-0 with council members Ridley and Rivera absent. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 21-007, Councilperson Ridley. Looks like she's still away. Okay, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson LeVaro.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 21-007 is adopted 7-0 with council members Ridley and Rivera absent. Okay, we're moving on to our public request for a hearing. We're gonna be calling our list of speakers in the order that they're listed. We're starting with 5.1, which is Laverne Washington. We were gonna try to get her on the line, and just bear with us momentarily while we get Laverne on the line. Okay, I believe we have our first speaker on the line. Laverne, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Laverne, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, council, and how you guys doing in this timid weather that we dealing with? I'm talking tonight about my community and the help that we need. In the past couple of months, I've been riding around giving out masks and gloves and sanitizer. I just want to thank the city for giving the supplies, to giving my community, and that there's a lot of homeless going on. And I had a woman call me tonight that came to the council. Her name is Pat, and she's been coming. We need help to help people with homelessness. They took her kids and everything. You guys know who she is. I'm just going to call her Pat, but after this call tonight, I would like for somebody to reach out with me to help this lady get an apartment and get her kids back and continue to work together for the goodness of the city and our community. I thank you, and I'm not going to be on this phone all night with you. May God continue to bless you and bless our city. Bye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay,
You're welcome. Yes.
thank you, Laverne. If we can just hang up the phone so we can get the next speaker on the call.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Laverne. All right, we are going to get our next speaker, 5.2. On the line, just give us one moment. Yvonne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It's
Okay.
Yvonne Walter.
Okay, Yvonne, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Fine. I just told Marlene that there's a major time delay between my computer and what's happening now. Now I know why I was very late for 4-1. Because by the time I finished speaking to you guys, I heard myself again, starting from the beginning. So there's a major delay. The reason why I am calling is that the Jersey Journal had an article about the Board of Ed being short $300 million for the schools. And then we have a letter to the editor that was in yesterday's paper saying that property owners may take their appeal to the courts using the Constitution as the reason why they deserve a large tax deduction. Once this happens, there may be a large increase in successful tax appeals for many communities. Let us never forget, unless taxes from apartment buildings will increase properly, tax rates for all property owners will go up. So I'm bringing this up because there is that ordinance that should expire in March. on the tax freeze or rent control for properties that is not owner occupied. We have a major problem with giving the school funding. We have a major problem of adding more people to the rent control ordinance, which does not pay a tax increase. I hope you understand that. What rent control does is based upon the consumer price index and not a tax increase. It is similar to Social Security. It is not taxes when it goes up. So we're at a point where we have people writing letters to the editors saying that if they can't pass on a tax increase, they're going to go to tax court and win major appeals, which means somebody else will pick up the taxes. And then you have over here an article in today's paper saying the school for 21-22 is short $300 million. There is a disconnect with the city council that you are promising affordable housing and you can't pay what you have right now. When will you guys take care of the budget? It doesn't make sense what's going on. Oh, I want affordable housing. That's the goal. How do you pay for this stuff? Because I'm a single family household. How do I pay for other people's wants? Come up with a budget that shows me how you're going to fund the Board of Ed, how you're going to pay all these tax increases, how you're going to protect homeowners from who win under rent control, because that's what it does, protects them from tax increases. How do you do all this magic? I want to know how you do it, because you're not putting your stuff together. Right now on my computer, it says 2:53, so there's a major time lag. I don't even know what time it is right now, by the way, Sean. Letting you know. So I'm just letting you know that I want the city council to address the issue of fair taxes. Because if your goal is affordable housing, then who pays that tax? Because they don't pay that tax. People like me do. Yes?
Yeah, the time just expired. You
expired,
definitely,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you definitely have a major delay on your computer. I would suggest once this is done here, because you're done speaking at this point, I think you should restart your computer and rejoin the meeting because you have a major delay. I don't know if everybody else is having the same delay because it's usually only 25 to 30-second delay.
Okay, I'm going to restart again. I did died before I started, but I'll do it again. I will, Sean. I'll join a meeting. Thank you very much for telling me.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, I believe we have our next speaker on the line. If you can identify yourself for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Jean Daly.
Okay, Jean, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you very much, Sean. I'm actually interested in speaking to 3 of the resolutions. The first being 10.18. It seems, if you look at the, I guess it was $30,000 for pots, supposed to be planted, I guess. But if you read more about it, it was a no-bid contract, but there was no contract. So what was it, a verbal agreement? I'm concerned about that. I don't think that's correct. On 10.29, the area about redevelopment, possibly for the Greenway. Now, there's a big chunk behind the Harsimus Cemetery that is going to be, potentially going to be redeveloped. And I have a big concern about that because we have very little wildlife in Jersey City, but we do have it at the Harsimus Cemetery. Hawks roost back there, the red foxes. We have wild turkeys. We actually also currently have deers and fawns. So that area behind Harsimus, which you guys seem to want to turn into a redevelopment area, is also a haven for birds. And in a city which has zero wildlife, like real wildlife, except for groundhogs and rats, we should really be very careful about taking any property behind that Harsimus Cemetery. And if you look at the link, it doesn't link up with the Greenway. I'm very concerned about that area. I will go down to 10.30. This is about the Newark Avenue pedestrian plaza rebuild. we are in a terrible financial crisis, as Yvonne just mentioned, and I cannot see why we are spending this type of money now. This makes zero sense. This should be deferred to the pandemic is over and people are not hurting as much as they are now. One thing does concern me. I don't know if you can verify this, but the person who owns the construction company that is slated to do this job has a last name Cunha as well as our Jose Cunha. I don't know how to spell it properly, Cunha or John Cunha. Jose it works for the city. I'd like to at least have some type of guarantee that they're not related. So again, that's my stickler point, that we really, we spend constantly, hand over fist, and we get ourselves behind the 8 ball, and we have to cut the budget, and this is one way to do it, so we can at least finance the schools. That's really the end for me today, and thank you very much for listening.
Gene, back in the Hospital Cemetery, there may be graves. And also, it's 14 degrees in Kansas City.
Okay, thank you so much, Jane.
Council
All right.
President,
Sure.
Council
Yeah.
President. May I follow up on Gene's point about JC contracting? I did raise this question offline on email and didn't get a response from business administrator. I asked if there's any relationship between JC contracting with the president's name is John Cunha, and whether there was any relation with Joe Cunha, who was our executive director for the MUA and was also the DPW director at the time that this process started. So just asking for clarification. I want to be clear, I'm not implying anything here, and I would just like to know if there's any relations between the two.
Okay.
I know that John had to restart his computer. I don't know if he's back, but when he's back, I'm sure he'll be able to answer that question for you, Councilperson LeBar.
Okay.
All righty. On to our next speaker. 5.4, if we can get our next speaker on the line.
Good evening. This is Jeffrey Trezak.
Hey, Jeffrey. Okay, I didn't see you there. Very good. All right, Jeffrey, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, Council. I just wanted to say thank you for your ongoing support of the Jersey City Free Public Library. And I look forward to talking to you more about the planned rehabilitation of the Priscilla Gardner Main Library at some point in the future. So thank you again for all of your support for the library. I also want to say special thanks as well to Councilman Saleh. I am a resident of the Heights, and I just want to thank him for all that he's doing for our neighborhood. Thank you. I won't take any more of your time.
Thank you, Jeff. Alrighty, moving on to our next speaker. If we can just hang up the line so we can get our next speaker patched through, I greatly appreciate it. Okay. We're trying to get our next speaker on the line. Just bear with us momentarily. Okay, I believe we have our next speaker on the line. If you can identify yourself for the record, please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Al Anton.
Okay, Al, your time is going to start on my countdown. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, greetings, everyone. I am the newly installed president of the Jersey City Free Public Library, and I just wanted to take this time to thank the council on voting for the approval to introduce item 3.5 in ordinance 12-012. You know, this ordinance is very important to the library as it will affect the community in a very positive way. I just look forward to your continued support on this ordinance and project. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving on to our very last speaker on the meeting. If we can just hang up the line so we can get our next speaker patched through the meeting, I greatly appreciate it. Okay, just bear with us, council members, momentarily, members of the public, while we get our last speaker patched through the meeting. Okay, we're almost there. Just bear with us momentarily. We're trying to get our last speaker on the line. Appreciate your patience. Just while we're waiting, I just want to thank my staff who is working in the background there. John Hallinan, Marlene Sandkamp, and Amanda Bransky. You guys rock, and without you guys, we wouldn't be able, this wouldn't be possible. So with that being said, I believe we have our last speaker on the line. If you can identify yourself for the record, please.
Yes, Frank, Educational Gilmore.
Okay.
Good evening,
Okay,
council.
Frank?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry. Your time is going to start on my countdown, and you're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I just got a few questions and a few statements. The first question I want to propose to the council: at the last council meeting, if not the last one, the one before that, where the council voted on the raises for the department heads, and several council members had got up and said that they will support initiatives or, I guess, raises for regular other city employees, and they said they will look into that. I just want to know where exactly is the council at, and how many council members reached out to union members or department leadership to see when and if those regular city employees can receive raises. My next statement is geared towards this proposal for $6.7 million to go to the pedestrian plaza down on North Avenue. I mean, I know it's going to get approved, but I do want to say this. It's not that the community is upset that North Avenue is getting a revamp, but last time we checked, this area have already got money for upgrades, where, again, we're still in a pandemic. Again, this money that was quote unquote earmarked for whatever it was allocated for. And my last point, the young lady from, I think the incident with the Steel Tech site, they said that the city could not afford the $4 million or so price tag to acquire that land. So I'm just trying to figure out how do we have $6.7 million, which is about 2.7 more than the initial $4 million for the site on Municipal. I'm just trying to figure out how do we have money for that. And if someone can answer those questions, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to now move on to our, actually, before we do that, Councilperson Ridley, would you like to be caught up on the second reading ordinances? Ordinance number 21-005. You were away when we took the vote on it.
Yes.
Would you like to cast your vote?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
4.1, you're saying, right?
That is correct.
Aye.
Okay. So city ordinance is adopted. City ordinance 21-005 is adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. And then the last ordinance, second reading ordinance, 21-007, item 4.3. Would you like to cast your vote on that, Councilperson Ridley?
Yes, aye.
Very good. So if I can just recap, City Ordinance 21-007 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Alrighty,
Thanks, Sean.
you're very welcome. Okay.
Sean, I'm sorry, clerk. 4.3. The fees.
Yes, sir.
I need to abstain on that.
Okay, so let me go back and take that vote. We'll correct your vote on that. I apologize. Give me 1 second. So we are going back to 4.3. And Councilperson Robinson, you wish to change your vote from an aye to an abstention, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now let me recap that vote. So City Ordinance 21-007 is approved 7-0-1 with Councilperson Robinson abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay? All right, and our public speakers are done. So now we're moving on to our petitions and communications. Any questions or comments on items 6.1 through 6.13? Hearing none, there are no officer communications. Any questions or comments on items 8.1 through 8.18? Hearing none, moving on to our claims and addendum number 1. Council members, the claims were changed from the caucus to the council meeting. There was one claim that was had to be removed, and I updated the claims and addendum list, well, the claims list, to reflect that change. So now we are taking a vote on the claims and addendum number 1. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson Navarro.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Claims and addendum number 1 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, moving on to our resolutions. Council members, I'll be taking a vote on items 10.1 through 10.13. Again, that's 10.1, excuse me, through 10.13. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
I'll abstain on 11 and 12, and aye on the rest.
Okay. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Sorry, clerk, how far are we going?
We're going from items 10.1 through 10.13.
Got it. Aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Robinson.
Yeah, I just want to say on 11, that's Garden State Episcopal, and they've done a really good job here with this. These are affordable houses, home ownership. It's 5 homeowners that weren't able to afford a home on a regular, but this has been something really good. We've been working to try to find some more land that we can actually get to them to create some more home ownership. So I mean, if it's not in Ward F, then it could be somewhere else. But I know Councilwoman Ridley had some affordable home ownership done by Garden State and Ward A. But this is really a special thing when you can create not just affordable housing, but affordable home ownership. So I definitely, scream out loud, aye for 11, but aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Navarro.
Yeah, on 10.11, 10.12, let me just say on 10.11, this is something that I'm very glad to see come to fruition in that sense, and as well as just I know it's been suggested that I didn't do much in my capacity as JCRA chairman, but this is in fact one of the things that it pressed for to get more properties for Garden State Episcopal and more affordable housing development and home ownership development in that regard, including the scattered site, which points to 10.12. I also just want to ask a follow-up question. I'm going to vote yes on both, but would ask what the if the Division of Community Development can let us know on 96 Virginia Avenue in particular, as well as the properties in 10.12, whether when the homeowners are able to release themselves from the deed restrictions such that they would be able to sell the homes after, what's the length of term of their own home ownership before they can ultimately sell the property. And the reason I bring that up is that this came up in our inclusionary zoning talks with regard to Virginia Avenue was pointed to. The idea that these properties are valued at over 600 some thousand, they'll sell for in the neighborhood of 300 plus thousand, that the homeowners have been purchasing two-family homes. They're going to be able to, at the time of purchase, they're going to be we're creating wealth of over $300,000 for moderate income families who will be renting units as well to low and moderate income families as well. So we need to do more of this and replicate more of this. I've been a stalwart champion of that and suggesting that we needed to do that and do more work for Garden State and other community development organizations like Morris Canal and others who are also looking to do work like this. I also just want to point out on 10.12, if you look at the overall cost of this and the contribution, $3 million for the development, it's a total of 8 units, 4 home ownership units. That becomes very costly. To Yvonne's point earlier in the conversation, who pays for this? This is no one. You won't hear me suggesting that it doesn't cost money to create affordable housing. I know that there's a cost to affordable housing, and I think it's a cost that we need to prioritize and figure out, as Yvonne was suggesting in the budget, and we have to prioritize it and make sure that it gets paid for. And so we need to do things like this and come up with creative ways to be able to establish home ownership and create a pipeline of affordable housing opportunities for Jersey City residents. That being said, I'm going to vote aye on all.
Thank you. Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Okay, if I can just recap. Items 10.1 through 10.10 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.11 is approved 7-0-1 with Councilperson Baggiano abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.12 is approved 7-0-1 with Councilperson Baggiano abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. And item 10.13 is approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, on to our next set of items, items 10.14, 10.28, with the exception of 10.25, which I believe has been withdrawn by the administration. Mr. Metro, can you just confirm that for me, please?
Yep, confirm, Sean. We are withdrawing 10.25. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so council members, on items 10.14 through 10.28, with the exception of 10.25, which has been withdrawn, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye, Brown.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye for all, and I want to thank everyone for their service on all these different committees and agencies and authorities.
Councilperson Solomon.
I'm going to abstain on 21 and 22, and then vote aye on the rest.
Are you abstaining on 10.21 and 10.22, and I on all.
Yep.
Thank you. Councilperson Robinson.
To 28, right?
Yes, sir.
Aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Navarro.
Sorry, give me a second. Let's
Sure.
see.
So we're going, just a reminder, we're going from 10.14 through 10.28 with the exception of 10.25, which has been withdrawn.
Okay, on 10.14, I didn't bring this up in caucus. I'll raise the question now and ask, this tax module has, this tax software has modules for tax abatements and payroll. Talking about a payroll tax audit and the tax abatement audit, I'd like to know, get a report as to how the system is tracking and how we're utilizing it. Any reports that are generated by the H&L system as it pertains to payroll taxes as well as tax abatements, pilot payments. We can get a report from the system itself, a H&L system generated report, because we're paying for the software that's presumably is being utilized for this purpose. I'd like to know that it's actually being utilized at this point. And it's my understanding that in the past it had not been utilized. So that being said, on 10.14.15, let me just check my records here. 10.14 and 15, I'm going to vote no because the contract started January 1st. I've raised the issue about contracts coming to us prior to approvals, prior to the start dates, so that the council can approve it, rather than just kind of rubber stamping contracts that have already been predetermined. So I'm going to vote no on 14 and 15, which had start dates of January 1st. On 10.18, Mr. Metro, are you still there? Are you out there?
He's out there. John?
I'm here.
Okay. So John, this was, did you say this was covered by half and half? I know the costs were covered, but did you say half of it was covered by the SID?
Yeah, so this was an extension of what they normally do on a yearly basis due to COVID, because we had expanded pedestrian parklets. So they continued to pay for what they do existing, and then we covered the additional.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to vote no on this 10.18 as well. It's a claim, as I've said before. This to me, these continuous claims are just indicative of poor fiscal management and procedures, and I've never seen so many claims at this point. So I'm a broken record on this. I'm going to urge the administration to get a better handle on this, because it's certainly showing up in our day-to-day operations and business. And I and all the rest.
Okay. Just to recap, you are voting no on 10.14, 15, and 18, and I on all the rest, correct?
Yeah, that's through 28, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilperson Navarro and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
All righty. And if you would just allow me to recap. Okay, item 10.14 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Navarro voting no and Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.15 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Navarro voting no and Councilperson Rivera absent. Items 10.16 through 17 are approved 8-0. Item 10.18 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Navarro voting no and Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.20, item 10.19 through 10.20 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.21 is approved 7-0-1, with Councilperson Solomon abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.22 is approved 7-0-1, with Councilperson Solomon abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Items 10.23 through 10.28, with the exception of 10.25, which has been withdrawn, are approved 8-0, with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, on to our next set of items. We're going from items 10.29 through 10.37. Again, items 10.
This is Councilman Navarro. Could I ask some questions before we cast our vote on 10.29?
When it comes to you, Rolando, we'll go around like that. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's relevant to everybody to know it before. So, I mean, we just saw a story after our caucus that the settlement agreement is broken down completely on the embankment. I mean, for my purposes, I'd like to know why we're going through with this, knowing why we're looking to do a study and what the strat, like, I know we're going to look for a closed session, but if someone kind of give us a broad idea of, like, I thought this was part and parcel of a settlement agreement, or it was part of that, but it's suggested in the Jersey Journal that there is no settlement agreement, that it's a dead deal. That's news to me. Maybe it's news to maybe other people had that information beforehand, but it's news to me that it as a settlement agreement is done. And so I'm curious as to why we're taking this action if it's not part of the settlement agreement.
We're going to have a closed session. Why don't we pull it?
If I may?
No, go ahead.
Good evening. This is Norma. How are you?
How you doing, Norma?
I'm good. I can't give you the specifics, Councilman. I don't know if the Jersey Journal is accurate. I can tell you, though, that the addition tonight, the additional resolution 1048 that was added was for the purposes of having discussions that incorporate all the issues surrounding that particular resolution. So the specifics are going to be discussed at that time. And like I said, I can't verify that the Jersey Journal or any other reporter has it correct.
If I could have
1029.
So if I could have one thing, and Law and BA, you guys just double check what I'm about to say. But I understand is we're authorizing the study. We're not authorizing the acceptance and approval of the study. So in essence, if what we learn in closed session, gives us pause, we're not formally creating the redevelopment area here. We're simply authorizing the study of it.
That's correct.
That's correct, Councilman.
That's it. Just a study.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. So, council members, I'm going to take a vote. Be asking you to take a vote on items 10.29 through 10.37. Again, on items 10.29 through 10.37. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
If it's a study, then I'll say yes to all, as long as it's only a study.
It's just a study, Rich.
Okay.
Councilperson Saleh.
I'm not going to echo the same thing. Aye for all.
Councilperson Solomon.
I'm aye for all.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Navarro.
Yes. So, while I understand it's a study, I do think that it's an expenditure of resources, and we're asking people to conduct a study, and then to what end, I'm not sure if it's not part of the settlement. So, look, I'm gonna cast my vote in favor of that, and trust, I guess, that this is going to move in a positive direction. But I posed a number of questions, and I hope that we'll see that. I also just want to ask, for the record, that when we have our closed session, are we going to have the attorney who was contracted by the city? I've forgotten his name. Charles, I think, is his first name. Does anyone recall the name of that attorney?
Montaigne.
What's that?
Montaigne. Charles Montaigne.
Charles Montaigne. Will he be in attendance and briefing the city council in this matter?
I'm not sure about that, Councilman. I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know who's on the invite at this point for the closed session.
So Council President, and to the members of the council and to the law department and everyone involved, I would say, I mean, we contract with that person. That person is, unless I'm not aware of anything, it's my understanding that that person was representing our interests in this litigation and in these matters of negotiation. It would be, I think, kind of, frankly, just a waste of our time if we didn't hear from him in these matters, right? To get the real information and real scoop of what's going on here. I asked a number of questions. I would hope that we would have those answers before the closed session so that we can actually discuss them in closed session and that we're not just setting it up for a second closed session. Some of those questions include what was the acquisition cost of the land according to the Jersey Journal, and since this information should be verified independently outside of news reports, it says that the Hymans acquired the property in 2005 for $3 million. My follow-up question to that is the settlement agreement that was that has been presumably negotiated and that was has either been canceled or maybe it's still on. I'm not sure where that stands. What is the acquisition cost, or how much are the Hymans going to be receiving in payment, and who's paying that money? Is it Albanese? Is it the city? Is it Conrail? Is it all of the above? And so how much will the Hymans receive for that? What was Conrail supposed to get in this? And I didn't ask this question in caucus, but I think that's important now that we know also what was reported in the Jersey Journal. And if Conrail backed out of it, why would they back out? We didn't get any information from that in the news reports. I'd like to get some information about that during our discussions in closed caucus. What's in it for? We know what's been discussed for Jersey City, and certainly the acquisition of the lands. What's in it for Albanese ultimately, and what sort of zoning rights and changes are being granted to Albanese to make it worth their while to be able to acquire this property and to settle this dispute with the Hymans. And then I asked for questions about how much has been spent on litigation. I don't think we received that information. And then also I don't think I received information about what the current zoning is, and would look for that information prior to the closed session as well. So that concludes my remarks on 10.29. Until where are we going to on this again?
10.37.
And I vote aye at all.
Thank you. And Council President Waterman.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Items 10.29 through 10.37 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to the balance of our resolutions, items 10.38 through item 10.48. Again, items 10.38 through 10.48. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
For 1038, did we ever get an answer about whether or not it's Joe Cunha from the MUA or?
John is on.
Yeah, no,
John.
Councilman. We've actually done prior work with the city and this vendor, and Joe Cunha had supplied a affidavit to purchasing that there was no relation. Just for standard practice, Cunha is a very common name in the Portuguese community.
He's an awesome guy. I'm not gonna lie, Joe. But I think the council should definitely know that prior to voting on it.
There's no conflict there.
Beautiful. Okay, and the price tag worries me a little bit, but it was like the lowest out of all the bids, and additionally, I know it's downtown, but I'd be a hypocrite not to vote for it because it's I voted for the Central Avenue streetscape project, and if there's a streetscape project in another part of the neighborhood, I would be for it to, help revitalize the area and to just overall net benefit for Jersey City. And with that, I will vote aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Solomon.
Aye for all.
You, Councilperson Robinson.
I guess I want to just say a few words about that 38. Yusuf, you hit it right on the head. Like the price tag is a lot. I mean, but when we have a $38 million, Berry Lane Park, we have a $3 million Fulton Avenue Park, and we have a $200 million investment from the city going up on Martin Luther King and City Hall Annex. It's hard not to want the entire city to be great, not just the area we represent. So, I hope this works for them and makes, that pedestrian plaza, one of the attractions to Jersey City, like Liberty State Park and some other things. So, yeah, the city is a whole, I hope the greatest mid-sized city in the country, and we just want to continue to make sure we do everything we can to help not just one part of the city where we represent, but the entire city. I vote aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson LeBarrow.
Yeah, let me go first to from where are we going to where?
We're going to the balance of the resolutions 10.38 through 10.48.
Okay. On 10.41, let me start there. Oh God. John, so you provided me information here about the Municipal group, and the original contract was $59,750, and then you refer to 3 different change orders, which brings the total contract to $102,960. Is that just for the Municipal group?
Correct, Councilman. This is there were some variances according to Brian Weller with the accessible and handicap entrances. So they did some change orders to satisfy that.
So let me just see if I better understand. Well, what is their role in this? Are they the ones doing the work and the improvements, the construction? The way I understood it is they were our construction managers, I guess, like overseeing the project. Did I misunderstand that?
I believe they're administering it as well. I'm just taking a look at it now.
Because I'd asked for if they were essentially the company that was representing us to oversee the contract and to ensure that the contract is being done properly, then and we were extending their contract, then there was a company that we hired to do the work. Unless I'm misunderstanding what this.
Any of the change orders were pursuant to the construction costs that were exhausted from that contract. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I got the information I was looking for on this, but I'm not sure what. Maybe I misunderstand this contract, but I'm going to vote no on 41 and not belabor the point on this. But $102,000 is not enough to do the rehab on the work that's being asked for. So their role, I think, is one of oversight and manage on behalf of the city to ensure that we don't have cost overruns. But if there are 3 cost overruns, then I wonder if they're doing the job around this, if that's what their role was, which I'm seeking clarification on. So I'm going to vote no at this time. Let me go back to 1038. I'd like an explanation. It was asked by the public. The original budget was $4 million. It's now coming at 6.7. Where's the other 2.7 million coming from?
Councilman, we had Paul here on Monday to discuss any details pursuant to this.
Okay, well, so that's not an answer. That's a deflection. I'll be frank with you.
I guess the guy's not here, Rolando. That's probably why. The guy's not here, so if you
I
don't,
mean,
just vote
I
no.
asked for information
know.
about where the funding sources were. I don't see that among the information that
I
received.
provided it and Talita acknowledged it.
The funding sources?
Correct.
It says you just attached the resolution again. That's what we got, right? So that's not,
Sean, please.
I was very explicit about it. Like, what are the funding sources here?
I'm not going to debate whether I provided the information. I provided the information.
Oh, John, you're disappointing me, man. Really? That's the way you're going to go with this? Like, you were asked for what the funding sources are. I'm going to tell you, you're not doing your statutory duty and obligation to the city council.
Rolando.
We
I know what we are.
I
know what we are, Rolando. There's no need to argue about it.
Asking for information I've asked from every administrator prior to this second term, literally, and it was never a problem. This administration now is like, I mean, hacks. Frankly, I'm going to be blunt about it. Right? This is amateur hour on this stuff. Like, really, you don't know where the funding is coming from. $4 million and a cost over. Coming in 2.7 million over what was originally budgeted, and unable to explain how that happens and why that happens. Not to mention that it's just as other people have pointed out, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and to be spending money like this makes very little sense. But forget the idea that even though we're doing streetscaping improvements to other neighborhoods, it doesn't come close to approaching what it is in downtown and the 6.7 million that's being spent here. For this particular project. Not to mention that, as one of the other previous councilmen said, to revitalize the area. If anyone thinks that $6.7 million is needed to revitalize the downtown pedestrian plaza, I love our businesses down there. I frequent them as well, but like, it's not revitalization that's needed in downtown Jersey City. Okay, let's be clear about that. That's not.
Rolando, everybody has their opinion. So
yeah,
I'm giving you don't insult nobody else's. That's
I'm allowed to critique the opinion, and that's my job as well.
You know, so
I'm allowed to critique opinions.
Just vote no or yes. That's it.
That's my job as a councilman as well, and I'm going to do that and speak with power on that stuff.
I don't know why we have to go.
So this is.
You don't like it. You don't like it. That's it.
And I don't like it. That's absolutely right.
And that's their right too.
I'm entitled to say it and be able to say my piece on these matters uninterrupted, not by you as the council president or any other member of the city council.
We don't have to insult one another, okay?
I'm not insulting anyone.
We could
but
be
if folks
cordial.
can't take the criticism,
we could disagree.
If they can't support their decisions and their judgments and their statements,
we could disagree.
Yeah,
we don't
I'm
have
going
to
to disagree. I am going to disagree, and I'm going to continue to say my piece in these
that's
matters.
Fine.
So I'm not done, frankly. Again, I'm going to reiterate. I still want answers to those questions, and I'm going to demand them. I'm going to make. In accordance with the law and my statutory powers as a councilman, I'm going to ask for the information as to where the funding is coming from for the $6.7 million, and not receive this this half-assed response. Frankly, I vote no on 1038 and on the other item as well, and I and all the rest.
Okay, thank you.
So just to recap, you're voting no on 10.38 and 10.41 on I and all the rest, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Council President Waterman.
Aye.
All righty. If you would allow me just to recap, item 10.38 is approved 7-1, with Councilperson Lavaro voting no and Councilperson Rivera absent. 10.39 through 40 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. 10.41 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Lavaro voting no and Councilperson Rivera absent. Items 10.42 through 10.48 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay. Before I take a motion to adjourn, I just want to say thank you to the council president and members of the city council. I'm embarking on my first full year as your city clerk, and it has been nothing but a pleasure to serve you, especially during this pandemic. We had a big learning experience through this pandemic, and I'll tell you, it has been challenging, but I am up to the task, and I appreciate your vote of confidence in me, and I wish to continue much success through it. And like I said before, without a great staff, you don't have a great clerk. So with that being said, may I have a motion to adjourn at 7:23 p.m.?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Saleh, seconded by Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to adjourn at 7:23 p.m., all council members in attendance by acclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
We are out of here at 7:23 p.m. Thank you so much, Council President and members of the City Council, members of the public. Thank you so much for watching. And please remember to mask up when you're out and about. We are not done fighting this pandemic. What you are doing, though, is actually improving. Make sure you get that vaccination done as well and keep your social distance. And let's together, we will pull through this. Thank you so much. Have a great night and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.